very much. Wow. Thank you, Canada. Mwah. Cheers. Hell yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please have a seat. Thanks. That was very kind. How tall am I? We'll get to that. We'll talk about it. And make some noise for the wonderful Greek Orthodox community who put this show on. They are legit. Man, it's good to be up here to see you guys. I was in America. We're having a rough week because we're trying to build a wall between America and Mexico. No, but hear me out. After coming up here, we're building it in the wrong border, man. No offense. But listen, we need border security, but everyone's forgetting about the Canadian border. Guys, this is all going to collapse. Everyone's chopping their cocks off and all you snow monkeys are going to be charging the border. And, Justin Trudeau's mom was pretty into open borders, if you know what I mean. Talking about every time she was around Fidel Castro's cock. People were pretty hard on Justin Trudeau. Everyone's always making fun of Justin Trudeau. Have some compassion. You know how hard it must be to be a pro-sodomy ski instructor? With fruity socks and a soy addiction. Like, that's not an easy life. He doesn't know who his dad is. His eyebrows are falling off from shame. I get the criticism. Sure, he gave all your gold to China. I get that. But what you don't know is he has been stockpiling a lot of strategic maple syrup reserves. A little thing called Operation Sticky Hands. Old Trudeau, he's looking for the future. And this is the thing that I don't think people understand about these people. I'm starting to really understand, leftism. At first, it didn't make sense to me. You see Trudeau when he goes overseas and he embarrasses himself in India and he dresses up like a cartoonish Indian person and all my friends, because we're all about logical consistency and we don't want to be hypocrites. That's a base reality of most people in this room. And so you look at that and you go, look, it's cultural appropriation. Look what he's doing. I'm like, he's a pro-sodomy ski instructor. He doesn't give a shit. People are like, what a hypocrite. He brought in a terrorist. And it's doesn't care. He's looking to get butt fucked and to hide maple syrup. I've been dealing with these people for a long time now, guys. There is no rhyme or reason to what they do. It's pretty fun. Cultural appropriation, anyone who fell for that is come on. It's I was in LA 2013 when things started really changing. I remember one of my buddies, and I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to fit in. My buddy was like, will you go for an awareness walk? I'm like, sure. That never made sense to me. I'm sure you guys have those here where it's we are walking to make people aware of, it's okay. I've tried to fit in my life. I gave it an honest shot. I'm like, yeah, what's it for? They're like a skin cancer awareness walk. I'm like, outside? Have you guys thought this one through? They're like, how dare you? Just go, yeah, no, I'm in. Let's make people aware. So I do the walk and whatever. And the same dude, Halloween rolls around. And me and one of my buddies, we have a two-man costume. We wore sombreros and we were Jose, Hose B. And we went to the Improv and, zero Hispanic people had an issue with it, obviously. We're looking for a third guy so we could be One Direction. Because people like funny shit, and we had it was fun. We had mustaches and the same dude, the skin cancer guy, he's looking at me. He comes over, he's like, excuse me. And I'm like, you talking to Jose or Hose B? I'm in character. I'm like, and he's like, I'm talking to you, Owen. And that's when I know something's going on with this little fucker. And I'm like, what's up? He's like, you're wearing a sombrero. I'm like, how do you think I sell Jose? Like, I'm a giant white guy. I need props. What, you think it's all internal? It's Halloween. He's like, that's not your hat, white man. That's their hat. I'm like, what? He's like, that's cultural appropriation. And I didn't know what that meant because I'm fun to be around. Yeah. But I look it up, and it means when one culture uses something that is known in another culture, which I always thought was a good thing. You know, you guys brought in socks, we brought in, shoes. Let's make something great together. That's a good thing. That's how cultures appreciate each other, but not anymore. I'm not allowed to wear this hat. And I started thinking about it because I used to really think that these people might have had a point. I racked my brain, and I'll admit when I'm wrong, and I'm like, should I wear this hat? And I'm like, yes, if anyone needs a giant brimmed hat, it's the whites. Because the sun is not our amigo, ladies and gentlemen. Up in Canada, you guys don't have to deal with that. But when you're down in Los Angeles, if anyone needs a giant brim, it's the whites. And I started thinking about how funny, this is why I know God is funny. Kangaroos, obviously. But Mexicans have brown protective skin and a giant protective hat. The whitest people on the planet have the smallest hats. Jews. I mean, think about how funny that is. Jewish people are notoriously pale, and their hat is tiny. It's called a yarmulke, and it looks like it was designed for a kitten, like a swim cap for a kitten. And so I propose that Mexicans and Jews sit down, they switch hats, and that is how we cure skin cancer. Thank you. Not a walk in Griffith Park. I'm starting to feel almost like your lawmakers in Canada is just like a bunch of dudes that don't understand sarcasm. Like, you guys are like, next, they're going to let someone break into your house and you can't even shoot them. And they're like, holy shit, okay. I mean, that's really a law here. Someone could break into your house. You could be holding a gun and you can't shoot that person. I don't know, because your lawmakers don't understand sarcasm, apparently. It's like, next up, like a 13-year-old's going to want to do hormone treatment and the parents say no and they take the kid from the family. That's what we'll do next. They're like, whoa, okay. Guys, these people are weak from sodomy. They're not hard to fight. Like, they just give them any pushback. Trudeau is a scared man. Yeah, so I was talking to, because what I'm doing right now is like illegal here now, It is. Like, this is literally illegal. Yeah. And I'm a danger to these people because I'm irreverent, but also I'm oddly not hateful. So they don't know where to put me. It's like one of those things where they want to make an example out of me and then they realize I'm hilarious and then they get really frustrated. Because they were like, it's illegal. Justin Trudeau said, it's illegal. It is illegal to not use someone's pronoun, and there's an infinite amount of them. It's whatever you want it to be. You guys know that's real, right? So I sneakily came up with a way to, a little catch-22. My pronoun is Justin Trudeau is a faggot. But hear me out. Hear me out. Right? At first, you might be like, oh, that word, he's being so... No. there's a reason that you need the word, because that word already is illegal as hate speech, right? So it's a catch-22. Either he has to say that word and be illegal for hate speech, or he doesn't respect my pronoun, illegal for hate speech. There is no right answer. My pronoun is Justin Trudeau's a faggot. So it's like, I won't say that word. You won't say my pronoun? Ha ha ha! There's no homophobia in that. That's fucking hilarious. That's why they got to kick me off Twitter. They couldn't fight it. They're like, that's not butt fucking and soybeans. Soy? Everything's soy. Want to know the one thing that's making people insane is this arrogance that people can avoid death with eating. You know, like one of you guys there's bike lanes now just for like tricycles, you know. Someone's like, have you had tofurkey? I'm like, what's that? I like turkey. They're like, no. Tofurkey? I'm like, what's tofurkey? They're like, it's like turkey, but it's soy, and it's really sandy and expensive, and it kind of tastes like something, but it's cruelty-free. There's no pain comes from it, unlike what you eat. I'm like, dude, have you ever seen how farming is done? Like the giant combines, these are just like guillotines for rabbits, just. That's all your soy comes from rabbit genocide. And by the way, why are people defending turkeys? Turkeys are fucking assholes. Like, I see the impending problems in the future. So we have animals, you know, like we have chickens, assholes, rapey dinosaurs with feathers, just like, fuck them. We also have ducks. I've grown to become obsessed with ducks. Anybody here have ducks for duck eggs or just for hanging out? You got ducks? What kind of duck? I don't know that type. Are they cool? Not. They have claws on their feet. They make big eggs. How often do they lay? They're all rapey. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. It's like it's crazy, but a little soybean who's done nothing wrong, just growing. Hey, I'm a soybean. They're like, eat the soybean, save the rapist. You know. No, I get you, man. I get you. But ducks are cool, and this is what I love about ducks. I didn't realize how much affection I'd have for ducks. It's because they can fly and they can swim. They're like the Navy SEALs of fowl. You know, they're like, we can swim, we can fly, but yet they still choose to walk. And you can just see them walking around. I'm like, but you can fly. They're like, I know. I'm like, but you could swim like a fish. They're like, I get it. I'm like, so why are you doing that? They're like, because I want to. And I get so pumped. Obviously, another reason I respect ducks is they have 20-inch cocks. And a lot of you guys don't think that's real. You will. You'll Google it after, and you'll all email me or something, be like, that was real. I'm like, I know. And it's really funny why, because there's so much rape in the duck community. And the female adaptation is hilarious, because the female duck started realizing, like, this is just a lot of rape going on here. So they didn't want to just always be impregnated by their perp that you're not allowed to shoot apparently in Canada. So like the rapey duck just be like, and so what did the female duck do? They developed a second vagina to like send the rapey wiener down the wrong path. Swear to God. I call it the party pussy. It's for low stakes. You know, when they like a duck and another duck's like, meh, then the female duck's like, meh. And they send it the wrong way. And so how adaptation works is then, like, the male duck's dick kept getting bigger and crazier to try and figure out the maze. This is all real. And so the female vagina in the duck got crazier and more like a labyrinth. And like the dick kept getting bigger and more. And this is all happening right under a calm pond. And no one even sees it. And then that is the animal we choose to make into rubber and have our kids play with in a fucking bathtub. That's fucked up. There's a reason I think about this shit. Is because, thank you. Ever since having kids, I stopped watching pornography. And I don't know if you guys have ever made that jump. It's hard at first, but it happens when you have kids. Like when you're single or just dating or something, you're just like, you don't even think about it. But when you have like a beautiful child that you just read The Hungry Caterpillar to in the other room, porn just seems a little like inappropriate. You're like, oh, gee, like I just have something so beautiful in the other room and I'm in my office. Like just, and then so I was like, all right, I'm gonna quit watching porn and see what happens. I realized it's not porn that you're addicted to, it's internet benders. It's not the porn, it's just open up Windows and just going, whoa. So I just substituted it with conspiracy theory videos. Yeah. Dude, it's better. It's just because it's like, whoa, you know? And then you see the effect of porn on dudes. Like, dudes are just whacking themselves into, like, a domesticated state. They're just whacking off until they're like, Tofurkey? And I'm like, we didn't even go to the moon! You know, it's just, like, the conversation, yeah. This is how you know you got some wizardry going on with like phrases. Like when people are like, listen, I'm no conspiracy theorist. I'm like, why not? Like our whole history is a series of conspiracies. Like the American Revolution was a small group of people who kept a secret and then overthrew a king. That's what a conspiracy is. They're like, yeah, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, should I change the word? It's not conspiracy theories, conspiracy queries. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's the same word. I'm a conspiracy queerist. You know? Canada's like, queer? Okay, great. Great, as long as you're into sodomy. What was I gonna, hang on. What's that, bro? Who? The globe's alive. See, this is the thing. That whole thing, I just find confusing. Maybe it's not possible for me to think the earth is flat. I get it. Stop. No, but it's oddly hard to prove it's a globe. And people are like, oh, you're a retard. I'm like, that's fine. I still think it's a globe, but try and prove it is. It's crazy hard. And they're like, you're a retard. I'm like, how many times you whack off today in your mom's basement? Why don't you do an experiment? Get a GoPro. They're like, fuck you. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's corn syrup, soy, and porn. It's just making everybody like, today. Like, it's exciting. Back in the day, that's what dudes did. We'd have fires or we'd fix something and just be like, what do you think's really going on? That's all we are. And now everybody's like, don't ask questions. Justin Trudeau has a plan. He let in this guy Omar or some fucking thing, was a terrorist who was killing Canadian troops. Fucking Trudeau gives him 10 mil to settle down in here, and everyone's like, that checks out. Trudeau's like, don't be a terrorist-ist. It's all good. If you guys are here, you guys get where I'm coming from. All right, I wrote some specific jokes just for you guys in Canada. Why did the chicken cross the road? It identifies as a duck, and now you're going to prison. All right. Knock, knock. The government, we're going to take your 13-year-old. How many Canadians does it take to change a light bulb? One, but he can't because he's broken from porn, corn syrup, and soy. That's it. Those are your jokes. So, thank you. You know, because people attribute all the good shit and the bad shit to people that don't really have much skin in the game. Like, someone the other day was like, Lincoln freed the slaves. I'm like, the guy with the anti-mustache facial hair? No. No, fuck Abraham Lincoln. Want to know who freed the slaves? All the fuckers like us that stood in rows just getting shot in the dick until the slaves were free. And obviously I'm happy the slaves are free, but don't let that fucking top hat guy take credit. He just is like, go do it. And my ancestors stood in a line and they're like, man, I hope one day they don't call us toxic masculinity. Oh, I got shot in the dick. And, you know, I'm all about just equal I just think that comedy only works if you can make fun of everybody. That's why it's like even like, you know, like the Greeks that put this on are upset at Justin Trudeau for culturally appropriating butt fucking. They're laughing, and that's the point. You have to be able to take a joke or you can't give a joke or else it's weird. Because as a Christian, I can laugh at Jesus jokes, but then I'm going to do a really funny Muhammad joke. You know, I'll laugh along when people are like, okay, so Jesus is, I'm like, ha, that's great. How about the fact Muhammad was like a pedophile on a flying horse? Do you know that's illegal to say now in Canada? That's fucking insane. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's only illegal if you allow it to be. That's how you avoid violence. Like, avoid conflict. No one wants war. No one wants starvation. Just be like, if someone says something absurd, like, I am Zer, you're like, no, Dad, you're not. It's commitment to nonsense. It's how you break an animal. You know, you get a dog with, like, beatings and food to just follow nonsense, you own them. That's what they do here. They're like, if someone breaks into your house, if they are Islamic, you cannot be Islamophobic and you have to let them butt fuck. And you're like, what? They're like, social shame? I'm going to end up in prison tonight. I have a pretty good idea. I'll take that. I'll take that over what could happen. Like, that'll be a funny story. Because it's funny, like, people are writing letters to here to not let me on, and they don't realize that they're forced to repeat how hilarious I am. They're like, and he says he wants slavery to come back because Sean King would admit he's white. And these fucking retards don't know that that's funny to normal people. It's like he was also talking about the pubes of a Parkland survivor. I'm like, yeah, I said if you can't grow pubes, you can't tell me not to own a gun. You just sicked the whole media on this like 15-year-old Catholic kid who didn't do shit wrong. And they're like, yeah. Logical consistency will not save you. Like David fucking Hogg, I tweeted, unless you can grow pubes, which implies age, you can't tell a grown man like me I can't own a gun. That was my entire sentiment. And that was like, it got me kicked off Twitter, all this shit, yeah? What's happening with these Catholic kids? So these fucking American Indian, I don't know what the hell the deal is, but they were coming up to him like, you cracker motherfucker, you retard, incest, go back to Europe. And they're like, hey, this isn't school spirit. And then finally one of them just smirked and was like, and everyone's like, shame, shame. And I'm like, that could have gotten those kids killed. And everyone's like, we'll see it one day. No, they're not, dude. Get chickens and ducks. Because it's going down, man. It's all good. We'll have fun tonight. We'll have a good time tonight. Because it doesn't have to go down. You just have to speak truth in times of chaos. But you guys get it. All right. Because people think that memes are something. You know, I was like Instagram, there's Instagram heroes. I saw this one girl, she posted a meme of Gandhi. And it said, be the change you want to see in the world. And like hashtag Wednesdays with a Z. And I'm like, what a hero. You know? I started thinking about it though, like what change do I want in the world? I'm happy, I'm grateful, I have children, I have a beautiful wife that I love, I have friends, I have people that come out and see me and listen to my bullshit as I work out jokes about duck dicks. Like I live a wonderful life and I want the world to be a better place, but like who needs help? I'll tell you who specifically needs help that no one's helping. People on the highway with their blinker on, and no one lets them in. No one talks about that minority, right? You know, they got their blinker on. I'm not talking they're just moving lanes. Their lane is ending. Lane ends 500 feet. And they turn on their blinker. They're like, can I get over? And people just are like, no. This is my lane. And they're in this horrible position. And people can be really cruel on the highway like that. It's the same with exit only. They see exit only. They're like, can I get over? And people are like, no, bitch, you're going to Baltimore. Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you do a loop-de-loop? I earned this spot. So I vowed to myself, I'm going to make the change that I want to see. So every time I see a blinker, I don't just see a blinker. It's easy to pass by those blinkers. That's not a blinker. That's a beating heart inside the car. No. So even though socially it's unacceptable, I will stop right on the highway when I see that blinker. And I look at this poor soul and I'm like, hey, get in. And they're like, me? And I'm like, yeah, you. Why don't you take my spot? We're part of a community. You know, and people behind me are like, man, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'll kill them for you. Why don't you take my spot? And then they're like, thank you. And then they wave. And now I'm behind this car. And that's like, those are the little things that allow you to enjoy life. Like, don't think about, think about keeping your ducks safe, stuff like that. Let people in. And so now I'm behind this car, and I was in a bad mood. And now I'm looking at this car with pride. You know, I'm like, I did that. I made that happen. Of course I get a little attached. Who wouldn't? You know, I'm behind this car. I feel like the car gets me. Finally, they exit. Of course, I want to go with them and become best friends and everything, but I just wave goodbye. But here's the thing about letting people in on the highway. If someone lets you in on the highway, wave. Because if not, I'll fucking kill you. You ever have that happen? You stop, you go like this, and someone just takes it. And now I'm behind the car looking at the car. And my fantasy is to follow the car. Not with pride and community, no, vengeance. My fantasy is to follow the car as long as I have to. You know? I got nowhere to be. You know, they park in their driveway, I park on the street. I get out, I'm like, hey, what's going on? They'd be like, do I know you? I'd be like, you don't recognize me? Like 100 miles back, your lane ended and everyone passed you by. You were in a pretty precarious situation. I stopped, let you in. Why didn't you wave? And they'd be like, oh, I didn't see you. I'm like, does this ring a bell? I trusted you. Why couldn't you just wave for what I gave you? At that point, they get a little scared. You know, and right as they start looking scared, because I'm not there to scare anybody, I'd soothe them by touching their lips with my finger and just going, shh. And I touch it gently, just shh. I go, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just here to, tell you about where I was coming from. And they just look at me and I drive away. Why touch the lips? It's the most important part of the whole thing. Because there's a nerve on a dude's lips that goes all the way to his cock. Yeah, the lips are the most sensitive part of a man's body, you know? And so when you touch the lips, there's an involuntary reflex where your dick just does a little wiggle. It's not sexual. It's not sexual, it's involuntary. You touch a dude's lips, his wiener just goes like that. Because your dick's blind, it doesn't have eyes. You know, it wants to know what's happening upstairs. You know, you could be in a cave, like not being able to see anything. A bat could hit you in the mouth. Your dick's like, bro, we banging the bat? It doesn't know. So why do I do that? Because I want to be remembered. And as the great Maya Angelou once said, and I only know this because of Instagram, people will forget what you say. They will forget what you do, but they will never forget the way you make them feel. And when one dude makes another dude's dick move who isn't gay, that's a feeling that will be so traumatic that I will be in his memory all the time for the rest of his life. So that the next time someone's on the highway, they let him in, his dick moves, he remembers me, he waves, and that is how we make the change in the world that we want to see in ourselves. Thank you. I'm gonna play you guys a little music. Can you guys hear that? Hello, hello. Did we just go? Are we going a cappella? Hello. It's all right. I can switch the gears. It was the Jews. Hello, hello. We can roll with it. I can do Q&A, and if we don't figure it out, fuck it. You can just look at it on YouTube. Hang on. Hello, hello. What's that? Pop the circuit. I bet you did, Trudeau. All right, so that's all good. Why don't we can do for a little bit that's left, and then I gotta get out of here. We can do Q&A because fuck it. I want to hear what you guys probably want to hear some shit, and I want to know you guys. So. You want a claw? Yeah, I want a claw. That was awesome, dude. Thank you. Thank you, brother. No, one claw is good. Thank you. Thank you. That's hilarious. What's that? What is this? What is this? Earth is flat? No. Yo, here's the thing. Once these dudes think the earth is flat, that's all they fucking talk about. You could be like, dude, your dick's on fire. They're like, tell that to NASA. I respect the passion, but it's a little intense. All right, so.
Let's go how they rule ya.
I don't have a piano right now, my sweet baby girl. All right, who wants to ask a question? Then we'll just go. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Are you not offended when everybody claps, or do you feel more respected when people snap their fingers?
That dehumanizes people without arms. No, if people snap their fingers, I would quit and think that I took a horrible turn with my career. That's a real thing, isn't it? Is that what they're doing now? Yeah, where is that happening?
I don't know, but it's going to be in our university campuses.
University campuses, they snap instead of clap? All right, well, this is the bright side, guys. No, but hear me out. The bright side is you no longer have to send your kids to college. It's very expensive. Like, that's one thing I don't think people understand is they're setting us free. Where it's like, oh, now they're making you cut your cock off to go. You're like, then I won't go. And then you realize you're having more fun. Everyone's chopping off cocks.
That's really disappointing.
Who's got a question?
What about Joe Rogan?
I'm heading back home, my friend. I got I'm getting the fuck out of this country before it pops.
How
tall is Joe Rogan? Hi, how are you?
We made you some armor.
Tell us Joe Rogan.
What is this? This is armor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
They're on your calf.
Well, knee pads send a different message in Canada, but.
No, they're not.
Let me see.
They're for your shin or for your.
Over there? Oh, these are awesome. These are leather. I'll put them on my arms. Thank you very much. What's your name?
Flower.
Flower?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Flower. It was very sweet of you. Give it up for Flower. Joe Rogan's, I don't know, I've never actually seen him because every time, like when I've ever met him, I've been like, where is he? And he just fucking, I need those for my shins next time I see Joe Rogan because all he does, he fucking kicks me in the shin and runs back to his little Keebler Ralph shop.
Fuck Joe Rogan.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
All right, what else you guys got?
When are you interviewing Sam Hyde?
I'll do Sam. Listen, Sam, I'll do him whenever, but he's one of the only people I've ever met that's flakier than me. Like, he's like, yeah, let's do this, bro. I'm like, when? Then like a week later, he's like, now. And I'm like, all right, but now I can't. He's like, you ever think about shit? Oh, what's this?
10 million socialism dollars.
10 million socialism dollars. I'm back. Thank you. All right. I might be able to get that. I don't like fucking up the lyrics, and I don't always have them. If anyone has them written out, I'll do it. I will. Just let me do my thing first, Canada. All right. So, because I got to remember. See, this is the thing about that song. Sometimes people request it, and I feel so much responsibility because it's actually about real shit. That like I don't want to fuck up the words. Like in comedy songs, if I mess it up, I'm like, fuck it. But that's like I'll give it a shot. All right, hang on. How's it go? First line. Anybody? What's that? Oh, yeah. I heard there, is that it? I heard there was a secret court where journalists weren't allowed to report, but you don't really care for freedom, do you? It goes like this without the fifth. The gavel falls and they cuff your wrists. It's not okay that this is how they rule ya. 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 Well, Tommy has been here before. He knows this room. He's walked these floors. Last time they tried to kill him, but he endured ya. They say that Tommy has racial hate, but really it's the growth of a caliphate. It's not okay that this is how they rule ya. 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 There was a time when the press let you know who's really coming to your shores, but now they never tell it to you. Quite true, yeah. What is it? The state what? I think I fucked that part up. See what I'm saying? What is it? No, but I think I meant. What is it? And then what? Oh fuck, that's so heavy. All right, they need the votes for the growing state and don't care who their voters rape. It's not okay that this is how they rule ya. 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 Thank you. What's that? Oh, I got it. And this has been going on in England for a while, by the way, this next line. Pedophiles are celebrated. Well, Tommy Robinson's incarcerated, but you don't really care for children, do ya? The grooming gangs moved in on you, and the kids looked up to you for truth. Please don't just say this is how they rule ya. 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 Tommy Robinson. Great. They're going to fucking kill me at the border. All right. So how do I follow that, guys? What's that? What's that? Soy boy? All right. Hang on. Stop. Shut the fuck up. I gotta remember the chords. When I try to when I get past the special, I try to write new shit, and I gotta remember again. There is a man who's afraid of dairy, and he's proud of the fact his balls never got hairy. He can't give the D, 'cause he's got no T. Trump tweets give him PTSD. And he thinks all guys should sit to pee. Equality. He's a BuzzFeed foodie blogger, which means he's unemployed. And he's always pissy and a bit bitchy, 'cause he is bloated from soy. He's a soy boy, he's so annoyed. He's a soy boy, he feels no joy. A weak chin and soft hands and a lot of demands. He's got mammary glands. He says his cat is trans 'cause of all that soy. He's a soy boy, and he's awful to be around. He thinks Sean King is black and Caitlyn Jenner is a brave and beautiful chick. His ankles are thick and he says shit like Colin Kaepernick should have been a first round pick. He's an ally to women when he marches in the streets. But don't drink with him, ladies. He's Hillary on Facebook, but he's Bill in the sheets. Rape! He's a soy boy, he's so annoyed. He's a soy boy, he feels no joy. His gender is soy, his emotions are soy. He's soy-cum-sized. And he's always pissed because he's a socialist. And he's awful to be around today. Thank you. Here's I got the claw. Here's a song called Titanic. Hang on, real quick. Women thought it was romantic when Jack and Rose sank on the Titanic, even though there was clearly plenty of room on the floating thing for DiCaprio. But he wanted to bail, so he let go. She said, "Hold on, Jack." He said, "Nah, I'm good." I mean, I wanted to talk about your hero, this bitch. Every night in my dreams, I feel and the sun will go on. Celine Dion's a fucking psycho. That gender neutral baby shit. You know, want to know what's gender neutral and doesn't have pronouns? Fucking prison uniforms. Yo, straight up, man, that shit's weird. It's like she's making, like, so, but I wanted to address that song and how fucked up Rose was from Titanic. You know, because women lately, there's great women in the world. And by the way, women want men. They want you to be strong and supportive and not to take their shit. Yeah, they do. You have to know that. And imagine, like, Rose was the worst. That's the #1 romance movie of all time. Next to, like, the one about the fucking Twilight sodomy kids or whatever. That movie was about two gay guys fighting over a girl with autism in the woods. The fucking Twilight. It was. It was two guys shirtless who could never touch a chick who can't talk right. Anyway, but Titanic, Rose, okay, when you watch Rose, think about how bad of a person Rose was. Because Rose got remarried after she let that guy die, right? And if you watch the end of the movie, you know about Rose, right? All right, so her husband, she remarried because in the movie she has a granddaughter that, like, you know, so she must have had a husband. Imagine being that guy where they wake up every day, every morning, and the guy's like, "Rose, what did you dream about last night?" And she's like, "The same thing I dream about every night. Every night in my dreams, I see him, I feel him." Who? The guy fucked and kind of killed indirectly on that cruise. You know, even though I was engaged at the time, you know, I banged that, like, sketchy artist guy from Steerage after I tried to kill myself. And now every night I just dream about like him being inside of me again and again and again. That's real. All right, so then the guy's like, that hurts me when you say that, Rose, but I work so hard for you. Like, please tell me, Rose, I can get past anything. I love you, my Rose, my sweet, sweet Rose. Please tell me that you haven't just watched me go to work every day and you've been secretly holding like a really valuable stone. There's no way, right, Rose? Like, cause I work in the coal mines and there's no way, right? And she's like, it's weird that you ask because, yeah, I have a stone so valuable. You know, men died over it. I've just been keeping it for myself. It's my own little secret. I thought you liked work. And he's like, fuck, Rose. I could deal with that as long as you promise me one thing, that, you give it to our granddaughter and not throw it in the fucking ocean, you cunt! Every night in my dreams, I see you, I feel. So Rose betrays her fiance, gets plowed, no condom by a guy who sketches her. Then she gets a stone that she keeps to herself while her husband works and then didn't pass it on to the family because she wanted it to go to the bottom of the sea because she probably had weird envy of her own granddaughter's youth. Ladies, what exactly did you like about the movie, Like, not to be a dick, but like, what did you think? Like, lady, let me ask you guys a question. Any lady in the crowd, what made you feel like that tingly romance feeling about watching Rose? It wasn't a sketch, it was a painting. Explain what that means. Man, it's crazy how someone... No, but does any woman have because it's the #1 romance movie of all time. Good marketing. All right. DiCaprio, all right, whatever, I'll move on. I just wanted to know. Like, I was more just curious. Because I'm in Celine Dion country. For real. For real, imagine that. Like, because she's fucking a stranger with a fiance. It was $30,000 a ticket to be on the Titanic. You know that, right? And not only did she just fuck him, she brought him to dinner to, like, humiliate him. She's like, look at this guy. Look at this guy, my new friend. And he's just looking at everybody like, I'm dehydrated from fucking this girl. It's all good. Anyway, here's a song called Every Relationship from a Man's Point of View. Here we go. Why are you mad? What did I do? Why won't you talk to me? We just woke up. I can't think of anything I could have done. Did you have another bad dream about me? You had a dream I cheated on you, and now you're mad in real life. Well, guess what? I had a dream I was getting raped by a clown. I'm not mad at clowns, 'cause I know it was just a dream. If you stay mad, that means you're crazy. Here's a song called Every Relationship from a Woman's Point of View. Why am I mad? What did he do? Because women aren't bad or men aren't bad. The big division isn't even any of this bullshit. It's male, female. They're trying to make us opposed to each other. We're just designed for different shit. And no one's bad. It's just designed differently. It's like I wrote a song called How to Love a Woman. This is how it goes. Thanks, man. But quickly, I'm just going to have a sip of the claw. Hang on. I'm going to get a letter from White Claw, like HR, like, hey, man, you've sold us millions of dollars, but we got to get you to stop drinking the claw because Everyone keeps writing letters that you called some little kid's pubes. Like, anyway, it's called How to Love a Woman. Damn Jews. All right. It's called How to Love a Woman. Dress really nice, but at the same time look like you don't try. Listen like a woman, but still act like a guy. Make lots of money, but still have free time in your day. Notice her hair and her shoes, but not in a gay way. To love a woman, to be her partner in crime, to really love a woman, you gotta be two people at the same fucking time. Give her her space while at the same time make her feel needed. Be confident, but don't sound conceited. She is in charge, but still you make the decisions. Kiss like a prince, but fuck her like you just left prison. And that's how you love a woman. Thank you. This is called How to Love a Man. Feed him and fuck him, repeat until he's dead. It's true. And how funny is it that women not only aren't offended, they're like, yeah, totally. And people are like, we can make fun of you? They're like, if it's true and not dickheadish. Because that's true. That's not even bad. Women need you to be two guys. They don't want two different guys. It's when they're ovulating and non-ovulating. When they're ovulating, they want the strongest DNA they can get. And then when they're not ovulating, they want a sensitive guy to not kill them. Ha ha ha. So it's a constant push contradiction, but it's all good. So I've always liked a lot of different kinds of music, and I only recently started realizing like pop music is weird. There's no pop music anymore, even hip hop. I think the last hip hop song I liked as a white person was the 8 Mile soundtrack. Remember that came out and every white kid immediately got a hoodie? It was like, if you had soccer practice and your mom forgot to pick you up, did you walk home in the rain or do you wait for Kyle's motherfucking mom? You know? And I stopped liking hip hop around Timberland. It's too late to apologize because he tricked me and I don't like being tricked. That's why I do not like magicians. I never liked magicians. My dad tried to do a trick once when I was a kid. He was like, look, I pulled a quarter out of my ear. And I'm like, now you don't have to work anymore. You can stay home with mom. She gets really sad. And he's like, no, I got to go to work. I'm like, you have an ear that makes money. Why would you leave us? And he's like, it's just a trick. I was like, just a trick. Half Jew dad. Fuck. Anyway. So he is. Every now and then I think that way. It's funny when you're like part Jew, or you're like, I found out I was part Jewish when I was like 20, when I never knew it, but I always knew I was up to something. So Timberland came out with a song and I loved it, but I didn't know what a producer was. It was called It's Too Late to Apologize. It's not by Timberland, it's by a band called One Republic. And this is the only thing Timberland added. Ready? Eh, eh, eh. Eh, and then the band's like, sorry, you're an angel, then you go and put me down. He's like, hey, hey, I'm sitting on the road, watch me 10 feet on the ground. He's like, hey, hey, and no one said shit. Everyone just took it. They're like, okay. Can you imagine if Timberland produced Beethoven? How obvious that would have been back in the day, before soy and porn. This is Timberland producing Beethoven. Thank you. And Beethoven was deaf. He still would have been like, what the fuck? Timberland? You think, eh? You want my money? Fuck you, cunt. I did that joke back in the day on Comedy Central in my first hour special, and they said, you can do deaf Beethoven, you just can't do deaf voice. I'm like, so I have to just be like, what do you do, Timberland? I can't be like, what in the muck? And people act like this is saving the feelings of deaf people. It's like, why don't I tell you fucks with deaf people? Those signs. All right, I live next door to a kid that I walk to school with all the time named Dana. He's a deaf kid. I grew up with this kid. And they put a sign that said deaf child area right in front of his house. No one even thinks about poor Dana, like walking out and saying, I'm going to have a great day. I know! And all the Trudeau-demites are all like, sad, we're helping, sad. He's like, who the fuck is this sign for? Because nobody driving is ever like, watch out for the kid. It's like, I didn't see a sign, I'm gonna honk and gun it. I'm assuming they're not deaf. If you see a kid, you stop. You don't need to know there's a deaf kid if they're in the street. All it does is remind the deaf kid every day that he's different. But I'm the bad guy? Oh my God, America's got some shit right now. Abortion just legalized in New York State up until birth, right? And I'm feverishly, no, but this is when shit gets wild. You know, I'm like, abortion's wrong, and my leftist friends are like, oh my God. And I'm like, you know 90% of abortions are black babies? And they're like, they can't take care of them. And I'm like, but yet we're the racists? I'm like desperately trying to stop a black fucking genocide. And they're like, but they can't help it. They're poor. I'm like, I was raised poor. Should I have been fucking aborted? They're like, but you're white though. Privilege. Like, the fuck? Blacks were doing fine until you fuckers gave them welfare and crack. It's true. Dude, in the 40s and shit, they were crushing. And then they're like, hey, you guys want no dads? How's that sound? Sad. No, sad. We're worried about you. Fucking horseshit. All right. That was a little intense. I'll do a real quick dad joke about Canada. How do you spell Canada? C-A-N-A-D-A. That's hilarious. So anyway, you want me to go back to abortion shit? All right. So this is how we're going to shut down shop here, because I think the division between men and women is getting wild, because a good marriage is unbelievable. Like, I didn't realize that back in the day. Yeah, no, it's true. It was like, back in the day, I thought being a man was getting with a ton of chicks, you know? Most dudes think that way because of how we're raised. And then I had a hard time settling down because I get with a chick, I'm like, I got to get with another girl. This one's crazy. And then I get with another chick, and I'm like, what are the odds that this one's also insane? And then I get with another chick, and I'm like, oh. And then I realized that crazy is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. That I was the one crazy, and trying to look for a chick that isn't crazy is like trying to find a house without gravity. It's like, you know? And then when you realize, when you plant your feet, and you realize being a guy who's just with a ton of chicks is actually a trail of defeat, and you look into the eyes of an insane person, and you go, I'm not going to leave you, then you realize they're not even crazy. It's a weird, you have to take the jump first to really get how they think. It's because of babies. Like all their crazy shit, you don't understand until you have a kid, and then everything just fucking clicks. You know? And you got kids? No, but all the crazy, you know, like your chick is like overly detailed. Like you could be on vacation. You could be on vacation, you know, in Hawaii, and your girl's like, oh my God, we're in Hawaii. This is beautiful. And then she's just like, why does that wave look like that? Is that a tsunami? Baby, we're gonna die. Google, is that a tsunami? Why are we, this is what's in a man's head from birth until death. Why is there a T in tsunami? To sit. And I'll tell you why that is because once you see how vulnerable women are when they have babies, you realize that's real male feminism, isn't running around trying to have threesomes at parades. It's being with a woman while she's like, her body's aching and there's a screaming kid and you're just like, I'm in this, you know? And then you realize why we're designed the way we are, because women have way more on the line. And you go back in the day, thousands of years ago, you know, life was fucking hard. And so a woman would have a baby and she'd look at her guy like, will you get us food? I can't hunt anymore because I'm, you know, this milk zombie's just really into this tit. And the guy's like, you want food? I'll get you food, baby. I don't need shit. I don't need shit to get this food. I'm a motherfucker. I'm the man. I'm going to grab my fucking spear. No friends. I don't want to share that shit. No shoes. Watch this shit. Yeah, it's January. I don't give a fuck. He's like, look at that woolly mammoth, baby. And she's like, go get him, sweetie. He's like, and he's just running. He's like, I'm going to get you from my girl and my new baby. He's just throwing shit at it. He's like, die. Die, woolly mammoth, motherfucker. Where am I? I don't remember that mountain. So he dies alone. There's no maps. There's no 911. High stakes living. Freezes to death like, eh. So she's waiting for the guy to come back with food. Just like, he'll be here. Dead. They're all dead. Baby's dead. She's dead. They're dead. Yeah. Here's scenario number 2. The girl's like, baby, will you get us food? He's like, yeah, everybody says not to eat the plants right next to the cave. Retards. They're right next to the cave. Poison. Dead. They're all dead. Here's scenario number 3. Will you get us food? He's like, yeah, baby. Right after I have sex with all of the neighbor women as well. Because I'm a man. Dead. Everyone's dead. War, death. Okay, we stay on that path. We're extinct. Fortunately, there was one woman in history that had a change of heart. And she was like, baby, will you get us food? And the guy's like, oh. And she's like, take your shoes. Don't eat those berries. Who's that bitch? Right? And the guy's like, why are you being crazy, Diane? I haven't even left the cave yet. I don't even, it's like, because I don't trust you'll come back. So go get the food where I can see it. Get those avocados right there. Take your shoes. Don't look at her. Get the avocados and come home. He's like, fine. She fucking lived. Her baby lived. That baby had babies. They all live, so they all have that gene I call soap opera music, guys, where this plays randomly in a woman's head, and it protected them from starvation for a long time. Just randomly, this will be in a woman's head. And it's her great-great-great-great-grandmother whispering in her ear like, tell him to wear some fucking shoes. And so that's why. And so that's why men and women will be in these positions where no one understands each other, and they just are like at this impasse. But no one's wrong. I'll do a conversation between a man and a woman with their appropriate soundtracks. That's why it's so weird how everyone's jacking up gays. They're like, gays need help. It's like they're so happy they're called gay. Like they're both real estate moguls blowing coke all the time, like ripped, pounding each other. Straight people, you see them in the fucking mall, we might as well be called sads. It's like, you know, you love each other, but you're like, I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And she's like, he doesn't even fucking listen. Gay guys are like, blowjobs. So, you guys are so beaten down by this PC shit here. You know what I just said had no hate in it. It was true and it's hilarious. You're still looking at me like, today will come for us. They're not, you give them the power, guys. It's crazy. All right, it's all good. You do what you want. We're going to build a wall. What's that? Yeah, no, just, it's all about community. It's not sexy. There's no one you can just like kill. You just got to like have a garden, know your neighbors, pray. Like really the answer isn't like sexy. It's just like, all right, looks like we got to fucking grow some food. And then as you're doing it, you realize it's wicked fun. And then you go back to LA to visit, and you see like Joe Rogan running around on a skateboard, like, oh, just fucking and DMT and sucking on. I'm like, it sets you free to face this shit. He's a toe Rogan. All right, so anyway, here's a fight between a man and a woman with their appropriate soundtracks. Ready? Hey, baby, how was your day? How was my day? Well, the fact you just asked me that means you didn't check my Facebook or my Twitter or my, I posted some really intense memes because I was having a bad day at work, and I guess you don't even check in on me like you used to on Facebook. I'm sorry, baby. I'm banned for life from all of those. You're so hot. I want to fuck you so bad. Look at me. I'm going to fuck you so hard. Look at me. I just said I had a bad day, and you think you're going to help with your dick? Why don't you say what's wrong? Why don't you just listen to me for once and not think you can... Yeah, I don't want to fuck you. I just want to listen. I swear to God, I don't even want to touch you. That sounds weird. You don't want to fuck me anymore? What's wrong with me? You think I'm fat? We're just like buddies now? We're just kind of like, don't even... Where's the passion? No, I'll fuck you right now. Look, I'm already getting hard. Yell at it. Yeah, I'll fuck... Oh, so you lied. You lied. And I trusted you. What else have you lied about? That's the problem with lies. Is now that I know you lie, what else have you lied about? What else is a lie? Just tell me what to say and I'll say it. All right, I'm Owen Benjamin. Thank you very much. One more time for the Greek Orthodox Church. And for all you guys, stay in touch with me, man. You guys give me hope. I love you. Good night. Thank you. Get home safe. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Flower. Subscribe to the Free Speech Club. If you don't, you send a very clear message that you are pro-sodomy and Trudeau. Subscribe to the Free Speech Club, because if you don't have free speech, you can't make fun of Trudeau's socks or penchant for sodomy. Penchant? Penchants. I don't know. I can say either one though without going to jail. Hit the alert button. Don't be gay. No, that's too far. There's nothing wrong with being homosexual, but don't have pride in sodomy. Subscribe to the Free Speech Club. Hi, I'm Owen Benjamin. Without free speech, I can't do my job as a comedian. Subscribe to the Free Speech Club. If you don't, it means you probably have an unrealistic pride in sodomy. I can still say that legally, but not for long. Shh. Justin Trudeau's a queer.